Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Charlie, your guide through yet another game. This time, the game is Oknytt. At least I believe I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, I apologize profusely. But that's what I'm going to call it for the duration of this playthrough, excuse me. So let us begin.
Hello, fellow traveler. Did you lose the trail? Come, have a seat by the fire. This is no night to be wandering these woods alone. You see, this is a special night, one rarely seen. Let me tell you a story to make the hours pass, one not many know of and even fewer believe to be real. What do you see in this piece of stone? Yes, it is small, not much to look at, and to most, not of any particular use. Yet it is not of irrelevance to the story that I am about to share with you. You see, every 100 years or so, a strange event occurs. As the days grow short and the nights long, a night darker than others ensues. It is said that when the moon leaves the sky, as darkness envelops the land and the stars awaken, you can hear the sounds of being rarely seen. And if one lingers in the dark shadows waiting for sight to return, things that any other night would seem to be one thing appear to be another. It was during a night like this that a small, in the scope of the world, insignificant creature with no name was born.
What is this place?
The insignificant creature without a name wondered as it emerged from the ground and began to explore the dark world. As the small creature explored its surroundings, tiny drops of rain began to fall from the dark sky.
Oh.
Suddenly, as the small creature stood silently next to the large stone, beautiful glowing beings joined in dance appeared out of the darkness. The creature beheld them in awe before they, just as quickly as they appeared, vanished into thin air, seemingly unaware of the small creature who so longed to reach out to them. The warmth emanating from the coals had almost faded when something seemed to reignite them. The small creature watched the coals for a while, spellbound by their calming glow.
It's too bad the farmer didn't move the wood inside after working so hard to cut it.
The small creature thought as it looked at the pile of unusable firewood.
Hey!
An angry voice emanated from the shed as the creature was about to pick up the piece of cloth laying on the ground.
I found that. If you want it, you'll just have to bring me something else that I can use.
As the small creature touched it, the top part of the shaft easily came off.
Haha.
Even though the fire had been put out, the coals seemed too hot to touch. The cartwheels were buried too deep for a small creature to pull them out of the ground. Touching the scarecrow, the creature could feel the dry hay prickling it through the burlap. As the small creature walked across the field, stalks began to sprout from the wet soil. The small creature managed to pick up a handful of oats off the stalks. The small creature was reluctant to crawl into the pitch-black hole. The small creature picked up the sewing needle with care, making sure not to hurt itself. As the creature approached the corner of the room, a grumpy voice emanated from the darkness.
Who are you to enter my home uninvited? If you came to steal, know that a meager creature like you would be no match for me.
In the dark corner sat an old hustumpt, staring at the creature.
Please forgive me.
The small creature responded anxiously.
I didn't mean to disturb you. I was simply curious about this place. I'm lost, you see.
The hustumpt looked at the creature for quite a while before breaking the silence.
Well, you certainly don't look capable enough to be the thieving kind,
he muttered to himself.
But if I find that you conspired with him to steal my hat, you will be sorry you revealed yourself to me.
The hustunt became quiet for a while, seemingly calming down.
Although perhaps I could be persuaded to part with a couple of my belongings in return for something to calm my hunger. After all, most of these items have been gathering dust down here for as long as I can remember. But don't bring me anything fancy. I don't like brown nosing. Anything that will take care of my growling stomach will do.
No, that's not how it happened. In the remains of the old crate, the small creature found a ball of yarn. The small creature tried to brush some of the dirt off as it picked up the old kettle.
I have a feeling I'm about to make like oatmeal or something.
Reaching into the hole, the small creature felt something flat, round and hard. As it removed the object from the hole, it saw that it was an old coin. The small creature barely managed to pick up the heavy grinding stone. The creature searched the ground for anything useful. Amongst the shattered bones, one piece seemed to be sharper than the others. No, that's not how it happened. The small creature thought about taking one of the mushrooms, but they didn't look all that tasty.
Oh, these mushrooms.
The small creature
Okay.
The small creature carefully picked up the bowl along with the dried flowers. The creature tried to collect some of the cold water, but was unable to keep the elusive liquid in its hands.
Time for the kettle.
The small creature filled the kettle to the brim with cold water. No.
Maybe I gotta...
The stones were too heavy for the small creature to move.
Oh crap.
The small creature hung the water-filled kettle above the fireplace. No, that's not how it happened.
Here we go.
The small creature carefully removed the hot kettle from the fireplace.
Then oatmeal rituals. Wait.
No.
I keep hearing that, like, that horn sound. I keep thinking my phone's vibrating. Vibrating your buds.
You sure didn't hurry now, did you?
The Hustunt muttered.
Were you planning on letting me wait all night after I let you take my belongings?
The small creature looked meekly at the floor.
Well, no matter, this will stave off the hunger.
The Hustunt brought a spoon out from under his thick beard and began to eat.
Since you've already helped yourself to some of my objects, I hardly think a reward should be necessary.
The small creature hung its head as the Hustunt put another spoonful into his mouth.
Fine. Here, I borrowed this from the wretched one. I have no use for it, so you might as well take it. Now go away.
As the Hustunt filled the spoon once more, a long strand of thick silver hair came off and landed on the ground in front of the small creature, who saw no harm in picking it up. No, that's not how it happened.
Okay. No, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. Huh. Where's this hat he was talking about? Nice.
The moist firewood was of no use to the small creature.
Hello?
The small creature said politely.
Who are you?
The guard stomped looked at the creature.
I'm the one who looks after this place. No simple task, mind you. The master of the farm hasn't been tending to the land enough this season, so I have to make up for his stupidity by working myself to the bone.
The guard stomped muttered in a stern yet slightly proud voice.
You're a small one, aren't you? I haven't seen something like you before. Where did you come from?
The small creature looked at the guard stomped.
I'm not sure. I remember waking up beneath a stone mound, and as I crawled out, the first thing I saw was the stars. Do you know why I'm here?
The small creature asked hopefully.
I see. Beneath the old stone mound.
The guard stomped appeared to remember something, becoming quiet for a moment before continuing.
No, I'm afraid I don't know why you were born into this place, little one. Nor do I think there is truly a place for you here at the farm. You should look for a place of your own elsewhere.
The small creature hung its head for a moment after hearing the guard stomp's response.
Don't fret, little one. You'll find your place in this world, I'm sure of it. This farm has simply never been that place.
Alright, I need that cloth. How the heck do I get the cloth?
Is that what I think it is?
The guard stomped exclaimed as the small creature approached him.
Is that my whetstone? Where did you find it? I don't even remember the last time I saw it.
The guard stomped let out a sigh of relief.
Thank you for finding it for me, little one. My old worn-down tools have been the only thing standing in the way of me bringing this farm back on its feet.
The guard stomped rummaged around inside the shed.
I'm afraid I can't find much of a reward for you. This old hammer shaft is of good quality, but I seem to have misplaced the metal head. I can't understand how I managed to lose these things.
The guard stomp scratched his forehead as he handed the hammer shaft to the small creature.
Perhaps you can find a use for it, little one. I'm sorry I can't offer you a better reward.
I have this now?
Hey!
An angry voice emanated from the shed as the creature was about to pick up the piece of cloth laying on the ground.
I found that. If you want it, you'll just have to bring me something else that I can use.
Alright, so let's see what we got here. Nunchucks?
The tools were too heavy.
Okay. Got something to do with the scarecrow. No hard development.
As the small creature used the sharp piece of bone to cut the stitches that held the cloth in place, the scarecrow sprung to life, quietly watching its visitor.
Hello?
The small creature uttered nervously, but the scarecrow remained silent. No. No. The Hustumpt was busy eating.
Go find my hat.
He mumbled as he put another spoonful into his mouth.
His hat. All right. I have no idea.
Nope.
Dude, where the hell did the bone thing go? Oh, that's right. I ripped it. around in the circles we go. Where we stop, no one knows. Is there a way to see like all the interactable things? That would be awesome.
The small creature watched the dark shape of the windmill.
What a tall building!
It thought.
What wonderful things would one be able to see from up there?
The small creature quietly watched the house.
I wonder what it's like to have a place to call home. I very much would like to know what it feels like.
The small creature, although curious, decided not to approach the farmer's house in fear of being seen. Touching the scarecrow, the creature could feel the dry hay prickling it through the burlap.
Wait.
Hello?
The small creature uttered nervously, but the scarecrow remained silent.
Would this be enough to replace the cloth?
The small creature asked as it presented the hay to the guard stomped.
Hey? Well, I suppose I could use that instead. I only found this piece of cloth the other night while keeping an eye on the field, but it's already becoming too dirty to wipe my feet on.
The guard stomped responded as he handed the dirty piece of cloth to the small creature.
Maybe you can find some other use for it.
Knew it. Freaking knew it. It's the hat.
My hat. He had it, didn't he? That wretched thief.
The hustumpt put the hat on his head and made a sigh of relief.
There. That's how things should be.
The hustumpt looked at the small creature.
I suppose you want something for this, even though you've already taken my things.
The hustumpt said grumpily as the small creature's eyes seemed to grow a little bigger.
Here, I found this hammerhead while I was looking for my hat. It's missing its shaft, so I don't know what use you would have for it. But the difficulty of a task should determine the reward, don't you agree?
Alright, ladies and gents. If I could save here. Yes, I can. This is where we're going to call it a night. Adieu, and all that stuff. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of this wonderful adventure. Be back tomorrow where we will continue to play Oknytt, or Oknytt, or Osnytt, or whatever this game's real name may be. I apologize for continuing to butcher said name.